Shuklam Varadram Vishnum Sashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasyatma Bhutasya Guru Prasadat Aham Vimuktoshmi Sharira Bhandat Sarvopadeshtu Purushottamasya Tasyangre Pradma Pranatosmi Nityam Prahalada Narada Parasara Pundarika Vyasambrisha Sukha Saunaka Bhishma Dalbhyan Rukmanga Udav Vibhishna Palgunadin Punyan Iman Parama Bhagavatam Namami Janmadi Asya Yato Anvaya Idara Sarcha Artesh Abhignya Swarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Havaye Muhyantiyah Surayah Tejo Vani Mritam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargomrisa Dhamna Svena Sadha Nirastakoham Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharma Prochita Kaitava Atra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedhyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Sivadan Tapatrayon Moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Kritkum Va Parairishwarah Sadhyo Hridi Avarudyate Atra Kritibhi Shushru Shubhi Shakshanat Nihama Kalpa Taror Galitam Phalam Sukamukadam Rudam Samyuktam Bhivada Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhirayet Vasudeve Vasudeve Bhavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahaitukam Shunvatan Swakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtanah Hridayantastohi Abhadrani Vidinoti Sursatham Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhavata Sevaya Bhavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Vasudeva Paraveda Vasudeva Paramakaha Vasudeva Para Yoga Vasudeva Para Kriyaha Vasudeva Parajnanam Vasudeva Param Tapah Vasudeva Paro Dharma Vasudeva Paragatihi Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranama Dukkha Samana Tamami Tam Namami Harim Param Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. This is a beautiful section we are in. The Amrisha Charitra, the biography life of Amrish Maharaj. We read many autobiography or biography of many great souls. Likewise, in the history, there are many biography of great souls who have led their life selflessly in service of God. One such person that we have been studying now is Maharaj Ambarisha. Maharaj Ambarisha is so very surrendered, so very detached, being with great roles and responsibility that he had. We are also, in one way or the other, have some responsibilities. Some of us taking care of the family, we feel is the highest responsibility, and we do that one. Some of us extend themselves, not only their family, they take care of their extended family, their brothers, their sisters, their spouses, family, etc. And some of them extend further into the society. Ambarish Maharaj was a perfect person, was balancing his life on a personal level as well as on the external level. So he was taking care of his family very nicely, as well as taking care of his citizens very nicely, keeping both in his agenda as a role as a king, emperor, but he's always on his journey towards Krishna. He did not forget his ultimate final destination that he wants to achieve. Being a king, he is very, very meticulous in following all the rules and regulations in the process of bhakti. In the process of bhakti, there are many angas, many things that one can perform. One of the important thing in the process of bhakti is to do some austerity. Austerity meaning starving our senses from the demands of the senses, and that is called austerity. Austerity is where we cannot live without that for a moment, for a day, and a person who's trying to lead a life without that which he was not able to live or cannot live is what is called as austerity or penance. So if we say that I cannot I cannot go out without the car, right? Then for one day, let me not drive, let me walk. I have the car, I have everything, but let me walk. That's an austerity one takes. A person who eats regularly on time and so forth decided to skip a meal, a two, 1 or 2 meals in a day. That's an austerity. Those are all different types of austerity. In the process of bhakti, the very important austerity as part of austerity is to follow the rules and regulation that helps one to develop their bhakti towards Krishna. And in that, as devotees of Krishna, what devotees of Krishna do is they fast on certain days like Ramanavami, Janmashtami, Narsimha Chaturthi, hmm, and also besides fasting for the Lord on their Lord's appearance, we also fast on the gurus and acharyas appearance days and disappearance days. That is also done. Besides this, the Lord himself highly recommends everyone, irrespective of whether we are a devotee or not a devotee, is to fast on ekadasi. So ekadasi fasting is quite very important that one has to do, irrespective of whatever the age we may be in, doesn't matter. But one has to follow the ekadasi vrata. It helps in many aspects. On the spiritual aspect, personal growth makes one into a mode of sattva guna. Plus, also on the scientific aspect, also on the health aspect. Based on many factors, Ekadashi plays a major role in human life, and everyone should take up and fast on Ekadashi day. Ambarisha Maharaj was such a person who was strictly following the Ekadashi Vrata. And after the Ekadashi, which was at the end of the year, he went to Vrindavan, and then in one of the forests over there, he wanted to conclude his Ekadashi Vrata on a Dwadasi. He was there near the Yamuna river, and he was ready after everyone has been taken care. He did his pujas, he did Shaligrama worship, he chanted his rounds, he did whatever he needs to do, his practices, everyday practices. And after that, he offered the bhoga, the food to the Lord, and that was distributed to all the people, the brahmanas, the citizens, Every guest who came, the animals, everyone were fed very nicely. After everyone completed with his good wife, who was also equally qualified, very much equally qualified. As I said, there's not much spoken about her in the Bhagavatam. There are many personalities we may only hear very little. So that does not mean that person doesn't have an importance. That person has a major role to play. It's very important. For example, in Ramayana, you will not find the um, much about Urmila. Does anyone know who's Urmila in Ramayana?
Uh,
Go ahead.
Lakshmana's wife.
Lakshmana's wife. Yeah, okay. Lakshmana's wife. So yeah, you won't find much details about what she did, how she was, nothing like that. So many times, this is something that we need to know that there are people who like to be um, not to be coming forward to the public, but they are great devotees. They're wonderful qualities. So it is not that how much we show outside to be a great devotee is important. It is how much we cultivate internal qualities is what very important. Sometimes people think that showing off visibility uh, are very important to make oneself prominent in the society, and that's a wrong idea. That's not very good either. Again, we are attached to our false ego. Therefore, we can see Ambarish Maharaj and his wife was good wife, was very chaste lady, and they were ready to have break their ekadasi vrata. At that point of time, an unexpected, uninvited, great personality, wonderful personality, he arrived on the spot. That was Muni Durvasa. Durvasa Muni is not an ordinary soul, he's a great person. So as soon as Ambarish Maharaj saw Durvasa Muni, immediately he got up, fell at the feet of Durvasa Muni, invited him, offered him the wonderful place to sit, washed his feet, enquired him, and requested him to have honor prasadam, the food that is offered to Krishna. Durvasa was very pleased and happy. Then he said, I'll be right back. Before honoring the prasadam, I need to go do my prayers, take bath and do my prayers, and then I can come and eat. And then he went to Yamuna, never came back. It was getting late and late and late. So Ambarish Maharaj was in dilemma, not sure what to do. So he requested he approached to get some advice from his wise ministers and brahmanas. They said just take few drops of water. That should be good enough. In that way, you really did not break the fast. In this way, you also completed the fast. So there's no offense to it. Just taking few drops of water. And Ambarish Maharaj accepted the advice and he took the water. Durvasa Muni came back. When Durvasa Muni came back, with his mystic power, he was able to understand that the king did not wait for him. He already completed the fasting by taking some water. Therefore, the Durvasa Muni lost control of his anger sense, and then he became very angry. Then he started blaspheming the king, saying that you are proud because of your material opulences, your position. You think yourself to be great, you think yourself to be God. What do you think of yourself? You don't know anything about dharma. When you call the guest, invite the guest to eat, instead of feeding the guest, you eat first. What type of behavior is this? You should be punished. You should be given a proper lesson. So his face became so red, the ears turned hot, and just couldn't control his anger. Then he pulled a hair from his head, chanted some mantras. I'm sure it is not Hare Krishna Mahamantra, something else. So he threw right on Ambarish Maharaj, and that hair turned into a ferocious, fearful, terrible, terrifying demon. Demon. With a trident in his hand, the demon approached Ambarish Maharaj to eat him, kill him, and eat him. But surprisingly, it's not to surprise anything, but Ambarish Maharaj was not disturbed at all. He was quite standing there without any disturbance. He was just right there. But then what happened at that point is someone was someone was restless. That person became very, very, very angry. He just rushed towards this demon, and that was who's that? Yes, Diksha.
Darshana. Oh,
Sudarshana Chakra.
Yes, Sudarshana. So Sudarshana came and chopped off the demon into pieces. And after that, interesting thing happened. Sudarshana, after killing the demon, it turned around and looked up on Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni was thinking, oh, why is Sudarshana looking at me? Immediately, the Sudarshana started just going towards Durvasa.
And the Sudarshana Chakra was trying to kill Durvasa Muni.
Yeah, correct. One second. I think there's a question that came up, just popped up. Why do we see throughout all the stories the great sages has such temper and don't know how to control the temper? What does that teaches us? All right, just hold on to that question. Greg, I will try to answer that as we get closer to the after a few minutes. So the Sudarshana was chasing. It was just chasing Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni uh, could not keep up. He was just running and running and running, and the chakra was coming, and the Sudarshana was chakra was coming, and Durvasa was running. It was so close. It comes and touches and goes back. Comes and touches and goes back, and this person keeps running like this, like this. So it was not really harming. Rather, it was just chasing him and coming close. This person was running. He just was on running, almost touching the back. He was very, very fast, very fast. Can you imagine when Sudarshana is chasing you? Can you keep up with that Sudarshana, Samanvi? Can you go faster than Sudarshana?
No, Prabhuji, I can't.
None of us can do that, right? He's a first class, super fast. Sudarshana,
Prabhuji,
yes.
I think I can go faster than cheetah, I think, but I can never go faster than Sridhishna. Sridhishna.
I see. So you can go faster than cheetah.
No, I think.
Okay, okay, yeah, all right. So now the Sudarshana was chasing, and the Muni went and hid himself in a Sumeru mountain inside. He came inside also, and the Rishi went and hid behind some trees. He came there. He went into the well to hide himself. He came there. He jumped up and closed the door in someone's house. He came inside there. He went to the ocean inside. Sudarshana came inside the ocean. He was running to all different planets, so many different planets, right? He was going to different planets, but Sudarshana was kept on chasing him. Then he finally, as he was going to different lokas, finally he came to the topmost loka of 14 planets. What are the top?
Vaikuntha Loka.
No, no, no.
Brahmaloka.
Brahmaloka. Vaikuntha Loka, he will go later. Okay, Diksha? So he went to Brahmaloka. Who's in Brahmaloka? Who's the main person in Brahma?
Brahma.
Okay. Brahma was there. Brahma was watching. He was just sitting on his special seat, the lotus of seat. And he saw Durvasa Muni was coming. He just came running and running and running, and he couldn't breathing heavily. And then he said, Brahma, Brahma, what, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. What happened? Tell me what happened. Why are you running and coming? See behind, see behind. Sudarshana is chasing me. Sudarshana is chasing me. Oh, Sudarshana is chasing you. Could you please save me? Please save me from Sudarshana. Well, you know, I don't think I can save you from Sudarshana. Everything happens by the flickering, a glance of Krishna. Krishna creates everything, Krishna destroys everything. I don't have any control. None of us have any control. He is the Supreme Lord. How can we control something which belongs to Him? I can't do anything. I'm very sorry. And Durvasa Muni said, what, Brahma, you cannot help? Sorry, wrong
Then
number.
he went to Shiva Loka.
Yeah, next he said, okay, see you, I have to run. So he left Brahmaloka and ran and ran. Again, Sudarshana started following. And then he was just running. He was running, running, running. Finally, he came to Lord Shiva. He was, Are, Durvasa, welcome, welcome. How are you? Would you like to have some idli, dosa, something? Oh, no time to have idli, dosa, chutney, and all those things. I don't, please save me. What do you want to save? What we want? What do you want me to save from? Look behind. And then Lord Shiva saw and he said, Pranam, oh, that is Sudarshana. Yes, could you please save me from Sudarshana? Oh, I'm sorry. You know, Narada, Brahma, Vyasadeva, Devala, Yamaraj, Asuri, Marichi, great saints are there. None of us are still able to understand the power of Vishnu. None of us are able to understand power of Vishnu. It is the Lord Vishnu, Narayana, Krishna, who can give good fortune to anyone, save anyone at any critical time. Therefore, I don't have a power to stop this Sudarshana to save you, Durvasa. Really? You cannot save? I cannot save. I'm sorry. Let me run from here. So he ran from Lord Shiva also. And Sudarshana started chasing again. As it
To
was,
Vaikuntha Loka.
now he went to Vishnu Loka. Yes, he went right there.
It's not
Yes.
Vishnu Loka, it's Vaikuntha Loka.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So he went to Vaikuntha. So thank you. So now the Muni was very disappointed. Thinking, I went to Indra, I went to Varuna, I went to this god, I went to that god. None of them can help me. What's wrong here? Sometimes we know who can help us, who have the capacity and the talents or whatever the skills to help us, but then we don't go and approach that person directly.
Babaji,
1 second, let me finish. So, what do you think could be the problem? I want something to be get done. Okay, children. If I want to get some, say I have an assignment. Okay, I know one of my friend can help me in making this assignment. But then I do not go to that friend and ask that person. Rather, I will try to go and ask so many other people who doesn't know, who cannot help me. What does it tells us if you do that?
you won't find the answer.
Yeah, you don't find the answer. That's one thing. You may find answer also. We don't know. But then when you know this person can help, but I don't want to go to this person, what does it mean? Someone we want to say something.
Huh? What did you say, Prabhu?
You understood the question?
Yes.
So if you know someone can help you, but you don't want to take help from that person, why? What could be the reason?
I think that if they're asking to help and I don't want to help, I would try my best to help them by all Krishna's mercy.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Samanvi. Wonderful. You're a nice devotee. So it is very simple to understand that it's an ego that stops us, right? Why should I go and take help from this person? If I go and ask this person for help, then he becomes greater, superior. Then I am lower. I'll become low. I'll show my weakness that I don't know this one, right? Therefore, people doesn't want to approach for this reason. Very important. But then we have to know who's going to be the loser. I will be the loser ultimately,
Yes.
right? I'll be the loser. Therefore, if you want to be children, please hear, if you want to be successful in what you're doing, first thing to know is to not to have pride, not to have ego. What does ego means? Who knows, children? Sarvari, are you back? Akshara?
Sadness.
No, she's not back, Prabhuji.
Okay. So who can answer me what does ego means? If at all you heard. Oh, Diksha, you are answer up. Go ahead.
Badness.
Madness?
Badness.
Bad
B.
badness. Okay, badness. Okay, that's fine. That could be the outcome of ego. Anyone else? Anirudh, do you know what is ego means?
Mm, mm, mm,
Okay,
mm,
okay, right. So thinking oneself to be I, me, right? I am great. I am so and so. So that is called ego, being egoistic. Now you get it? You all nod your head at least. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Yeah, Rukmini.
um, I think ego is like pride.
Yeah, it's an outcome of ego is
Yes,
pride.
I
Yes,
am like
correct.
this. I am like this. I am like better than him. I'm like this. Things like that.
Yes. So that is an important thing. So therefore, if you want to be, please understand, if you want to be successful in life, then we have to be not egoistic, because there are many people out there who can help us to be successful in our life. Therefore, we need to approach and take help from them. If we show our ego in approaching people to learn things and take help from others, and it is just us who will be the loser. You understand? Okay. So here, Durvasa Muni knows very well, yes, knows very well that the chakra belongs to, is the Sudarshana chakra belongs to Indra?
No, Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, see, you all know very well. Sudarshan chakra means it belongs to Krishna, Vishnu, Narayana, right? But do you think Durvasa Muni doesn't know? He doesn't know that Sudarshana belongs to Vishnu? He knows. He knows, right? So instead of going to the owner of Sudarshana, he was going to Indra and hiding in the caves and hiding in the swimming pool and going into the all this magic house, hiding there, right? None of those things going to help him. He should have simply gone to Vishnu. Finally, he understood his mistake. Finally, he went to Krishna. Now there's a interesting dialogues happens between Krishna and Durvasa Muni. Very interesting dialogues happens. So before we continue on this line, um, it is 11:15. I want to pause here and do a couple of things. Number one is ask the children here, as an assignment has been given from last week, what did you learn? Some bullet points from last class until now. You can tell one or two points, one at a time. What are the good points? What are some of the lessons that you learned so far from the story so far? What have you learned? This was the assignment I gave you last week, if you remember. Yes, Diksha, go first.
That we should not be bad.
Not to be bad. Okay, not to be bad is one thing. Durvasa was quite bad in the way he reacted. Okay. Who else have? Yes, Samanvi.
I
What?
have one to be in the mood of goodness, not nor passion nor ignorance, just goodness and serve the Lord any way you want.
See, this is a very beautiful point you said, Samanvi. Very good. So
Prabhuji,
one has to, one second, one has to be in the mode of goodness. In the mode of passion is how Durvasa Muni behaved. But then Amrish Maharaj was in mode of goodness. Yes? Very good. Thank you. Now, Rukmini, you want to say next, okay?
we should try to control our angerness, and we shouldn't show up.
We should not show up. We should not show our anger, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We should not get angry. In other sense, one should not get angry. So is anger good or bad, Rukmini?
Um, Actually, anger is not good or bad. It's really, really, really bad.
Okay, now let me ask you one more question. Was Arjuna, when he was fighting in the battlefield, was he fighting with anger, or was he not fighting with anger? Let me ask, not Arjuna. When Hanuman was in Lanka, okay, he burnt the Lanka, right, into ash, many places, right? Was he angry or not?
Um, no,
No, he was not. He was
He
not.
was not.
he was.
He was not
He was
angry.
not angry.
Okay, you are all supporting that he was not angry. Okay, okay, I will go.
Yeah,
Okay, now let's talk about this. When Krishna saw Bhishma, you all remember a picture of nice painting in ISKCON where Krishna lifts a wheel,
yeah,
chariot.
yeah. And
Why did,
Arjuna is holding Krishna's leg.
what is Krishna is doing there? Why did he lift that wheel?
He's trying to hit Bhishma.
Is that is doing he did it out of joy with smiling face or with anger?
Anger. Anger.
He did it to protect his devotee in anger.
Oh, Mahati. Oh, wonderful, Mahati. So you see, the anger is itself not bad. Okay, Rukmini,
Yeah,
the
okay.
anger is depends on where you apply it. Okay, if you want to help someone, if you want to teach someone, if you want to correct a situation, and you have the right to do so, therefore you're showing in the anger, not in an egoistic way. Okay, it is always helpful for the other person.
Okay.
Now, 1 second, Sarvari, I know you want to say something. Just give me 1 more minute. Now, to getting back to Greg's question, why do we see throughout many stories the great saints seem to be having no control of their temper, their anger, right? It's a beautiful question. The answer is two parts of the answer, two part of answer to this question. Number one is the same thing what I just said. Number one is whenever they exhibit anger, that anger would be for the benefit of that person whom they are showing their anger. That is why they show an anger to some people. That's answer one. right? It is going to give a long-term benefit for that person, therefore they exhibit anger. For example, Narada Muni cursed the sons of Kuvera, you may become like a tree. But then ultimately what happened at the end, they got the darshan of Krishna, they got the blessings of Krishna. So otherwise would have been very hard. They by it was the disguise, curse and disguise mean where they been cursed, but for the higher purpose. One thing is they get the blessings of Krishna. Number two is they learn their mistake because of this curse. That is why rishis do this one. Whereas another thing is sometimes the rishis themselves are put into a situation to show their anger by Krishna. Krishna put them into a situation where they are triggered to get angry so that personalities like Ambarisha's glories can be can come out. That is why these things are happening. Hope that helps, Greg. So the first part is to benefit the person whoever made the mistake. And the second answer is Krishna makes a situation such a way this person gets angry, the sage gets angry, so that the opponent person can be glorified, his glories can be seen clearly. So this is again Krishna arrangement. Okay, thank you. Now Sarvari, is your turn.
So throughout the story, I learned that you shouldn't have ego because it's not going to help you. And I also learned that Krishna's devotees, Krishna is always trying to protect them. So you shouldn't show any, you shouldn't have ego. You shouldn't have anything against them because they're very pure.
Very important point. You can show anger. First of all, showing anger is not good. If at all you do, but don't do it against Krishna's devotees. It's quite serious. And that is exactly what we are going to learn the conversation between Krishna and Durvasa Muni. Okay? Akshay, you have something to say? Okay, very good.
You will always pray to Krishna and Krishna will help you.
Krishna will always protect you. Even if the demon pops up from your TV, right? You will not get away and run, right? That's what you said last time. So Krishna will protect. I am sure Sudarshana is standing right at the door, your door, to protect you all.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Prabhuji.
Yes? Okay.
You
So did
too,
I miss?
Prabhuji.
What is that?
Also, you, Sudarshana is protecting you too from the demon.
Thank you, Rukmini. Okay. Is there any other person we spoke? Mahati spoke. Any other kids who has not spoken that I'm missing? Or anyone is hiding yourself not speaking? Okay. All right. What we are going to do for next 40 minutes is there was a request in the last session to give some details on Ekadeshi. So I have requested, as we requested Rajajana Prabhu to present on this particular topic, and that is going to be the rest of the session today. And if you have any questions, we can talk after this, whether it's related to Ekadeshi or related to the discussion that we are having now from Bhagavatam. If that is okay, I'm going to turn it over to Rajajana Prabhu. I invite Rajajana Prabhu to present his topic on Ekadeshi. Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. I think for those who do not know me, yes, Prabhu, you're saying something?
Yeah, I should have introduced you. So I was going to take an opportunity to introduce you. So you can add if I missed anything. Rajajana Prabhu is one of our core congregation member in St. Louis ISKCON. His family has been very dedicated to Prabhupada's movement, and both husband and wife, Rajajana Prabhu and Hari Puja Mataji, both of them are initiated by His Holiness Romapad Maharaj, and they've been doing wonderful services here in various capacities. and he also gives classes at our temple and other places. He has his full-time job with two beautiful girls. They've been part of our school also. So it's our great pleasure that Rajajana Prabhu is going to say something on Ekadashi. If I miss anything, please add.
No, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your wonderful words. Um, Actually, I think Lal Gopal Prabhu, Lal Gopal Prabhu is my initial guru. I learned from ABCD of spirituality from him. He can talk more than beautifully about this Ekadashi topic, but he has given some opportunity for me to speak. Thank you, Prabhu, for giving this opportunity. Hare Krishna. And I think for the kids, maybe it's a little disappointing because I cannot entertain like Lal Gopal Prabhu rest of the class. Sorry for that. And we can talk a little bit about Ekadashi now. So first thing that before, okay, starting Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Thank you. So Ekadasi is a very popular topic that everybody, I mean, in the Sanatana Sampradaya, we have different different people follow different faiths, but one thing that everyone is universally accepted is that everybody knows is that Ekadashi. So one question before talking, so what is that it comes to your mind when we talk about Ekadashi? Anyone can say just one thing. What is that immediately comes in our mind when we are talking about Ekadashi?
Fasting.
Fasting. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. So I will share some presentation here, and then I will quickly talk. Maybe we do not have much time to cover entire thing here. So are you able to see my screen here?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. I'll present here. So Ekadashi is, as everyone said, the first thing that we remember is actually fasting. So many of us, we follow, some people according to their capacities, they do fasting, or they follow Sim Ekadashi Vrata to some extent. But some of us actually may not think about the inner details about Ekadashi, why it is important, all those things. Maybe I will try to cover whatever I know today. So Ekadashi is actually called Day of Lord Hari. And so Ekadashi is actually called a Madhava Tithi. This is called Madhava Tithi. Tithi means very auspicious occasion. And then Madhava Tithi, Krishna's name, one of Krishna's name is actually Madhava. And also it is called Hari Vasaraha. That means the day is actually special because it's the day of Lord Hari. And also why we have to do Ekadashi is because it's very, very dear to Lord Krishna. Ekadashi is very dear to Lord Krishna. And next one we know, all of us know that is a fasting day. And also next one is that Ekadashi is also considered to be like a Vrata Raja. It is a king of all Vratas, king of all Vratas. It is said like out of all plants, Tulasi plant is the best one. Out of all the rivers, Ganges is the best. And all the mountains, Meru is the best mountain. Out of all the birds, Garuda is the best. And similarly, out of all vratas that we perform, Ekadashi vrata is the topmost. Therefore, it has a very good significance for Ekadashi. Then we talk about, there is the external meaning for Ekadashi, and also there is internal meaning. We will try to cover both of them. So external meaning is that we have to fasting from grains and beans from the 11th day of waxing and waning moon. From the 11th day of waxing and waning moon, we try to do fasting from grains and beans. We will talk about why we have to fast from grains and beans shortly. But the external meaning that we all talked about is immediately it comes is that actually we have to fast. And why fasting? So, I mean, when we fast, we become little weaker. And then the body may cooperate for some of them, may not be cooperating for somebody. But fasting is actually, we say that it's going to please the Supreme Lord. When we take up a austerity of fasting on that day, that will please the Lord. Why Krishna is pleased by our fasting? I mean, simply if we go and do not eat anything and then are feeling hunger, that is what makes Krishna happy? Do you think Krishna is a sadist here? No, that is not the meaning. So when we fast, what will happen? It helps actually to focus on self. Why it helps? Because when we eating, what will happen? When we eat, dinner, when we had a full lunch, what will happen? The body, you feel sleepy and you want to take some rest, right? The senses become inactive and it is not going to be cooperative for us. So therefore, when we fast, what will happen? Our senses become a little bit active, and then we can focus on anything that we do on that day. So that is one thing. And then it actually helps us to control the sense of tongue. The tongue, I think Lal Gopal Prabhu might have told you several times that tongue is used for two purposes. One is actually eating, the other purpose is actually to talk. So on that day, to want to control that tongue, because we want to take fast, that means you are giving rest to your tongue. You don't why? Because tongue is the most ferocious sense out of all the senses. The moment the tongue always wants to taste many kinds of varieties of foods. Is it true or false? We think, okay, I ate so many items in my life. Now rest of my life I don't want to eat palatable stuff. Anything I can eat, don't worry. Do we think like that? No, right? We want to eat very wonderful items made by our mother or devotees. We want to taste so many wonderful items. So therefore, by eating a lot of foodstuffs, what will happen? We get entangled. So therefore, by fasting, it helps us to control that sense of tongue. So that is one another advantage of doing fasting. Okay, now we talked about external meaning. Now we talk about what is the real internal meaning of fasting. Internal meaning, on that day, what we have to do. Fasting is one thing, that is fine. That austerity everybody has to do. But other than that, more important thing is that we have to minimize the needs of the body on that day and increase our absorption in Krishna. That we said just before, no to the sense of primarily to tongue. So we increase our absorption on that day and minimize the needs of the body. For women, especially when they're in the kitchen, they have to prepare in the morning breakfast, they have to prepare lunch, they have to prepare dinner. So most of their time goes to only for cooking. And also for every one of us also spends a lot of time work and going outside, and we spend a lot of time. So especially on the day of Ekadashi, if we try to minimize the bodily necessities and trying to spend our time on increasing our absorption in Krishna, that is the real purpose of following Ekadashi. It's not that no, you don't eat anything on that day, and then because I'm not eating anything, I'm not feeling active, so I'll go into sleep. That is not the purpose of actually not eating or fasting. So we may be fasting to the body, but externally, but internally we have to feast to the soul. It's a feasting to the soul. Because why it is feasting to the soul? Because you are actually fasting from this material affairs on that day and trying to focus on chanting or hearing Krishna Katha, like all of us very regularly hearing from Prabhu. So like that, reading Srimad Bhagavatam or praying to the Supreme Lord, whatever the devotional activities that we take up on that day, that will help us to increase our absorption in Krishna. So the important thing is minimize the bodily needs and increase the absorption in Krishna. So now we will see what is Eka. Eka means 1, Dasha means 10. All of us know. Dasha means that number indicates 10. Eka means 1. So it dot total, it is equal to 11. So we have in our Vedic system, we have that Tithi. Each Tithi has its own significance. That means every number is associated with a different Tithi. So the Tithi here, for example, 3, Akshaya Triti, 4, Ganesh Chaturthi, that is 4, Naga Panchami, Odana Sasti, and then Saptami, Advaita Saptami, Rama Navami, Vijaya Dashami, and then Ekadashi. So similarly, each Tithi has its own significance, and similarly, Ekadashi also has its own significance by that number. Sorry. So another meaning of Upavas is actually Upa means near and Vas means living or staying, like that. So on that day, Upavas, by doing Upavas, what you are trying to do, you are living or you are staying near to the Supreme Lord Krishna. That is the another meaning of Upavas. You are living near to Krishna. That means you are always, your thoughts are always absorbed in Krishna. That is another meaning. Another meaning of this 11 is like we have 5 indriyas, 5 karmendriyas, and we have 5 jnanendriyas, like hands, feet, rectum. Like as I mentioned here, we have these 10 indriyas, karmendriyas and jnanendriyas. And one of the main indriya that controls all these senses is mind. So mind is actually considered to be is king of all the senses. So mind takes us everywhere, anywhere. It will not help us. It will not help us to focus on the mind. Will not help us to focus on Krishna every time, most of the times. So therefore, on this day of Ekadasi, one has to take austerity of fasting, and then spending all the indriyas in the service of Krishna. So that is another meaning. So this internal meaning that what we talked about is the essence of actually Ekadashi. It's not just only fasting. So we all fast, we all know that the ritual of fasting, but what the ritual really makes spiritual is that when we understand the spirit behind the ritual that we are following. So that's why interestingly, it is called spiritual and ritual. So the ritual becomes really spiritual when we really understand the spirit, the behind the activity, whatever that we are doing, and then it becomes spiritual. So that is the internal, external, and internal meanings of Ekadashi. Now we'll try a little go deeper. Ekadashi Vrata, Ekadashi Mahatyam says, Ekadashi Vratam Nama Sarva Kama Falapradam Kartabyam Sarvada Viprayar Vishnu Prinana Karanam. So this verse is actually basically saying Ekadashi Vratam Nama Sarva Kama Falapradam. Kama means our desires. It has the potency to fulfill all of our desires. There is no doubt in that. Ekadashi has that potency. But as the devotees of the Lord, we don't look for the specific material benefits that are giving, but actually what we do, Sarvada Vipraya, Vishnu Prinana Karanam. Only we have to do this austerity because why we have to do? Because it's very dear to Lord Krishna. And also by doing this austerity, I will grow in spiritually. And also by growing in spiritually, that will please the Supreme Lord Vishnu and Krishna. So that is the purpose of doing Ekadashi. There are 3 categories of doing austerity, and I don't go much details in that. I'll go next. So there are actually 24 types of Ekadashi. Every Ekadashi has its own name, and also there is a specific pastime story is actually assigned to every Ekadashi. We are not going to discuss about the details of this one, but as we know, every month we get 2 Ekadashis, and in a year we have 24 Ekadashis that comes up. And now we'll talk about the some spiritual significance of following Ekadashi. So once upon a time, Jaimini Rishi, he was approaching his spiritual master, his guru, Vyasadeva, and went a very wonderful question. My dear Gurudev, I know, I heard about Ekadashi. I want to know more about Ekadashi. What is that Ekadasi? Why we have to observe? How we have to observe? I have all these doubts. I know. Please kindly give me with the details about this Ekadashi. Like that, with a humble mood, Jaimani Rishi approached Vyasadeva. And then Vyasadeva was actually very pleased about the question that's asked by Jaimini Rishi. And then he was said, the same question that you asked, actually, it will be helpful for many, many people in the coming Kali Yuga generations. They will also benefit by the question that you asked. Therefore, I will tell you. So, like that, there's a detailed story about this pastime. Vyasadeva is explaining to Jaimani Rishi. So, important thing that he was trying to explain is that when the Lord, the Supreme Lord Vishnu, when he was creating this material world, he has created many planetary systems and so many other things. Along with that, he also created one very important personality that his name is called Papa Purusha. What is his name? His name is Papa Purusha. So this Papa Purusha, what is the duty of this Papa Purusha? What is the significance of creating separately a Papa Purusha? Because Papa Purusha's organs, every like hand and the face, legs, everything is actually is made with one kind of sinful activity. For example, head is created to punish the people who are sinful, to kill Brahmana, like that. Every organ of this Papa Purusha is made with one kind of sinful activity. So, what is the duty of Papa Purusha? When creation happens, people definitely they do sinful activities. For their sinful activities, there should be some kind of punishment. So this Papa Purusha's duty is actually to punish those who are making sinful activities in their life. So therefore, Yamaraja was actually assigned in hell. We all know that. And then Papa Purusha was actually in full mode of passion now, because so many living entities are making sinful activities, and then Papa Purusha is actually is very, very busy in his job. Punishing all the people who are making sinful activities. So it is happening like that. Once upon a time, what happened? Lord Vishnu, he planned to visit this Yamaloka, because sometimes the CEOs or the company people actually they will go and make rounds around that, like that. Lord Vishnu also wants to go and visit Yamaloka, and then he visited Yamaloka there. Lord came by Garuda Vahana, like I was shown in the picture. He came to abode of Lord Yama, and then the moment he come, the Lord actually, Yamaraj actually inviting him to sit on the throne, and Lord Vishnu sat on the throne. And when he was talking, suddenly he was hearing so many tumultuous sounds from the Yamaloka. And the moment the Lord heard about these big, big sounds, his heart was actually felt with so much of compassion. What is going on here? He asked Yamaraj. And then Yamaraj actually replied saying that, no, my dear Lord, you know everything, that you created all the planetary systems, and people are actually making so many sinful activities. For their sinful activities, they are experiencing the reactions for their sinful activities. That is what is going on there. So then the Lord Vishnu felt so much compassion for all the living entities experiencing the pain out of what they are for their sinful activities. So then what will happen? Suddenly, from the Lord, the compassion within the Lord Vishnu manifested as like a Devi. So that Devi, she was the feminine manifestation of the Supreme Lord Narayana. And then Shaka, so another meaning of Ekadashi, so Vishnu is asking her, who are you? And then she was replying that, I am your servant, Ekadashi. Eka means one, Dasi means servant. I am your servant. So now, on behalf of Supreme Lord Vishnu, Ekadashi Devi is actually asking the Supreme Lord, saying that for those, I am actually your compassionate personality exhibited and manifested as a Devi. So I want to give a benediction for all the people, those who are chanting your name on this specific day, those who are actually participating bhakti on this day, they will be liberated from this day. So Lord Vishnu sanctioned that, and the moment they said, all the residents, they are actually who are suffering, they heard this word and they started actually chanting the names of Krishna. And then what will happen suddenly on that day? Because they are chanting Krishna's name and they're engaging their senses on that day in the service of the Lord, actually happened. What happened? Everybody gets moksha. Everybody going back to Godhead, Vaikuntha Loka. So now what will happen? Everybody, the Yamaloka was actually vacant. And now Papa Purusha, everybody is done. Now Papa Purusha is jobless now, because, as I was telling before, Papa Purusha was jobless. He was actually in full swing. He's doing his duty. Now everybody, because following Ekadashi Vrata, they all went to Vaikuntha. And there is nobody is there. So therefore, Papa Purusha has no duty. And then he went to Lord Vishnu and he prayed to him saying that, my dear Lord, you only created me, and now I don't have any job. Everybody, uh, because of your compassion, everybody is following this Vrata and everybody is going back to Godhead. So what I should do? So then I just want to make it story start here. Then Lord Vishnu said, now you don't need to do anything, so simply go. And then this entire world is you are Jagannath. Where can I go? There is no place that I can go. And then Lord Vishnu said, so on the specific day, the Ekadashi Devi is not active, then you can go and prevail everywhere. But on that day when Ekadashi, she manifested, where she was active, that time you go and take shelter of grains and beans. So therefore, that is the one of the reason that we don't eat grains and beans, because Papa Purusha is taking shelter in the grains and beans. So this is one reason. This is one pastime. And then there is another pastime also. This is also spiritual significance, but I will skip now this one. Now one can understand now. See, people may think, no, you are all devotees, because that is why, because you are believe Shastras. That is why you are here. You are hearing every week so nicely. So, but for an external person who doesn't believe God, and he is highly academic person, he may come and tell you that this is the reason that you don't eat grains and beans. He may see like you like a fool and rascal kind of thing. So for that persons, we cannot say, but whatever that we are hearing from Puranas and Shastras, they are very 100, not 150% authentic. But still, no, we cannot help with some people. So therefore, even if you don't take out spiritual significance, we can think in a different angles, different way. So I want to talk about little astronomical significance here. Why we should not take grains and beans on the day of Ekadashi. The moon, the gravitational pull, that will actually causes the high tides and low tides in the ocean. Because of the moon effect, the high tides will happen and low tides will happen. And even the sunlight and moonlight, because of that only we get vegetables, and vegetables, how it will be tasteful, because of the moon shine, that will make all vegetables actually become more tasteful. Like that, even the moon also causes that push and pull on the water bodies. So especially the heavy water bodies like in the ocean, on these days, the maximum pull happens on Dashami, Ekadasi until morning Dwadashi. So the maximum pull, that's why you see, especially during Dashami and Ekadashi time, you see very, very high tides. Why? Because of the gravitational pull of moon is to the maximum level that happens. So in the water, even if you think about the human body is like us, even human body is actually filled with 75% of water. So therefore, what will happen? On the top of that, if you take grains and beans on that day, So what will happen? Because the grains and beans retains lot of water even while cooking, and after that also it retains water in the body. So the water already 75% water is there. On top of that, we are taking grains and beans. What will happen? It will create havoc in the body. So therefore, the study also show many of the research and studies also shows maximum number of deaths also will happen around this time. So if person is not diseased, he may develop some kind of disease because of excessive eating of grains and beans. Even if he is healthy also, he may develop some additional diseases, or is he suffering so many diseases, what will happen? He may experience death during that time. If you take this is what even medical science also talks about this one. So that is why another reason that we don't eat grains and beans on that day. So this is one astronomical significance. Now we talk about scientific significance. Even science also, if you see, I will try to explain this, but I don't know how whether I can justify you to make you understand this. uh, everybody knows DNA, right? DNA is the critical component in the body that carries very important information about the cells. And also the DNA contains the chain of molecules like a strand, like what I saw show here. This strand, the DNA, the chain of molecules, like it will look like a strand. And the actually what will happen, this DNA always duplicates and replicates every time. It duplicates and then replicates. And scientists actually trying to find out, they want to increase the longevity of the life of a human being. This is the research they started in many years ago. Their purpose of research is actually to increase the longevity of the lifespan of the human being. So now they were doing the different experiments, and come to saying that no, they understand that they're analyzing this part of DNA, and then they found out there is some small portion of DNA contains called junk DNA. Here, see, I put here the pictorial representation so that you can see more, not even when I'm talking about. So this junk DNA doesn't contain any information. DNA gives us very important information, but the very small part of DNA is called junk DNA. They named it as a junk DNA because this DNA doesn't have any important information. That is what their conclusion, the scientist's conclusion. It is also called telomere. They give the name TELOMERES. If you want, you can go and Google this telomere, and you can find out more details about the junk DNA. So scientists think that this DNA doesn't contain any information, so therefore this is junk DNA. So therefore they actually that time scientists were saying that you said they actually saying deny the existence of God, but at the same time they also said, yeah, for the believers of the God, you are saying your wonderful God always creates nice wonderful things. Now I can show you that there is small portion of DNA which is actually useless. It doesn't contain any information, but I don't know why he created. So therefore your all complete God is incomplete. That is what their argument. So now, after finding if it's going like that, they are trying to do further research, and they found out very nice information there. They thought this is actually there is no use of this information, the junk DNA, but they found out this doesn't contain any information, but at the same time, this will protect the entire DNA. That is the purpose of this telomere. It is like how, if you take the shoelace, there is a casing, the two sides of the shoelace. What is the purpose of the casing? The purpose of having the casing between that lace is actually to protect the entire shoelace. If the casing is not there, what will happen? It is going to decay very fast. So therefore, how the casing of the lace, how it helps to protect the entire shoelace. Similarly, this telomere or junk DNA helps to protect the entire DNA. So that is what they found out. And now the next what they're trying to find out is that Okay, now I find out this is actually protection of DNA. Now they found out very important information that it is not that the cell always go and duplicate forever. It will not go like that. Whenever it goes to duplicate the cell, what will happen? Whenever the duplication happens, the small portion of junk DNA will be lost. Hope I am making sense here. I don't know how many of you are catching this. Whenever there is a duplication of cell happens, small portion of junk DNA will be lost. And what is that? Whenever like that, the del cell duplicates, like small portion of junk DNA is lost. And how many times like if the cell goes on duplicating like that, what will happen? The entire portion of junk DNA will be lost at one point. So what that point is actually called, they are saying they are near to death. Hope you understand that. I will tell you, explain again. The cell, the number of times the cell actually duplicates like that, to when it reaches one case, every time it is losing some part of junk DNA, right? So therefore, whenever there this duplication happens, at one point, what will happen? There is no junk DNA. The complete portion of junk DNA will be lost. That means you are no more. You cannot live more. You reach death. So that is the final conclusion of those scientists who are working there. And then, so they concluded what they said with this information. If a person wants to live longer, there should be two things that should happen. What is that? Either the reduce the data of duplication so that the loss of the telomere will be very less, so that the person can live longer. Another thing is that even though the duplication happens, the loss should be minimal. That is one thing. And either the rate of duplication should be very longer periods, so that what will happen? If the duplication happens longer duration, the loss of junk DNA is minimal, then the person can live longer. So this is the final thesis of those scientists after spreading this. So now they found out very wonderful information, no doubt about it. But now they started experiencing, so they found out some details about this. How we can do this? How we can reduce the rate of duplication? How we can minimize the loss of telomere? So, and then what they found out is that, okay, when the person takes calorie intake is very less, then the duplication happens at larger intervals. Therefore, what will happen? Their understanding is that one should cut down their calorie intake. Then this duplication happens very larger intervals. Therefore, loss of telomere will be very, very less. Therefore, the person can live longer. So that is the thesis they came up. So now the scientists found this information very good, but they try to apply this technique for, they took 14 students for testing, and their calorie intake was reduced by 25%. And now what happened? The results are extreme. After 14 days, they tried, and the results were very good. They found out the duplication happens with longer intervals, and also the loss of telomere is very less. They found out this is very, very good, but what is happening? The solution is very useful, but it is not feasible. Why? Because every day, if calorie intake is 25% less, the people after 14 days, they become so weak, they cannot do their work. So what happened? They went back to their own original diet. So there is no use. So what happened? So then they went back and doing the research how we can achieve the same thing. Then they found out the same result was obtained by fasting 36 hours in a 2 weeks of time. They found out if one fasts 36 hours in a 2 weeks of time, then the loss of telomere will be less, so that the person can live longer. That is the ultimate end of their thesis. Now, the scientists got a Nobel Prize in 2009 for finding this, but Krishna told this is ekadasi. Even if you don't believe what Krishna said in Shastras, that fasting will help us, but even if you think on this scientific point of view, when you fast, you can live longer on this planet. So for this thesis, there are 3 Nobel Prizes awarded to these 3 wonderful personalities in 2009. If you want, you can go and research on the web, and then you can find out more details about how what thesis they made it, now it's finalized. So The conclusion is here, even if you scientifically, even if you think one has to fast, and then they can get benefit out of this. Now we can talk about little different levels of fasting. So Ayurveda Patanjali Sutra says those who are having meat know how to fast for 1 month fast daily. So therefore, we know that those who are eating meat, they will go from morning to evening and they will fast in the evening. And those who are vegetarians, you have to fast 2 weeks completely for 36 hours. One may ask, no, ekadasi fasting is 24 hours. Why do you are saying 36 hours here? Even scientists found out 36 hours, right? So 36 hours means from the sunset of Dashami to sunrise of Ekadashi, 12 hours. From sunrise of Ekadashi to Dwadashi sunrise, 24 hours. 24 plus 12. Those 36 hours is actually one has to fast. So that is how it becomes 36 hours. So even as per Ayurveda also, best thing is actually Nirjal is the best. But in Kali Yuga, we know that it's very difficult to practice Nirjal. For even now, many people actually do practice Nirjal, but many people cannot do it because it is difficult for them to do Nirjal. But if cannot do that, they can do fasting with water. Like no, we consider fasting. When you take water, it's considered to be either fasting and also no fasting. Like just now, Lal Gopal Prabhu told about the Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj pastime. Ambarish was actually in the dilemma, and he was trying to take water so that it is considered to be not fasting also, as per the advice of Brahmanas. So I need not tell about that. But still, if you don't cannot nirjal, then you can do fasting by water. If you cannot do that, then you can use by juice or fluids or coconut water, whatever that you can take it. If you cannot survive with that, then take fruits or milk, whatever. Then, if you cannot do that, then you can take a like free from grains and beans. That what I told. So we can take items that are free from grains and beans. And now we can talk about the parent time. It's called actually how one has to break the fast. There are several types of breaking the fast also. Parent time is actually very important. It is how important it is to fast. In the same way, to break the fast on the specific time on Dwadashi, that has their own science behind that. I'm not talking about that. So parent time is called. So it's called Nirjal. When you are fasting on the Nirjal, then break with water. When you are fasting with water, then break with some juice. When you are drinking juice and doing fasting, then you take some fruits. When you are taking fruits and milk, then break with grains and beans. If you are eating with grains and beans, so that is not considered to be, I mean, it's considered to be fasting, but it is not this specific that, sorry, I put the wrong word there. This is also considered to be fasting, but you can break with some other items like grains and beans. So I think I want to talk a little bit more, but because of time, I want to conclude here. So we talked about a little bit on Ekadashi, and then we talked about external and internal meanings of Ekadashi. And we talked about a little spiritual significance and astronomical significance, and then we talked about little scientific significance, and also from Ayurveda point of view, also why it's important to fast, and how to fast, and how to break the fast. And essence is how to observe. Ideally, one meal on Dashami and fast completely on Ekadashi. If that is not possible, then eat as much to keep the body fit and fine. See, important thing is not that fasting, what we are doing by fasting on that day. So therefore, keeping in that mind, if somebody is not able to fast, that is actually absolutely fine. And take whatever the body demands so that you can engage some service. You can take that and then engage, like whatever I said, the internal meaning of Ekadashi, engage all the 11 senses in the service of Krishna, chanting japa, serving Tulsi Maharani, and read scriptures and associate with right-minded devotees. And then reduce the needs of the body and increase the needs of the soul with humility, tolerance, and forgiveness in a non-critical fashion. In this way, even when we observe Ekadashi, the Lord is pleased and Lord is only captivated by our love and affection. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hope this makes sense, some of you. Sorry if I could not able to make you understand. Thank you, Prabhu, Gopal Prabhu. If any have questions or anything, either Lal Gopal Prabhu or can help you to answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, it was really a great presentation, but I want to tell you the audience here are very advanced audience. Don't need to be think that whether they understood or not. They all are very well.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Sure, they all understood what you said.
Yeah, the reason I'm telling you, Prabhu, that because I explained the scientific significance, right? So they are all very spiritually well elevated devotees, I know, but I don't know much science, and I'm trying to explain science, so that's why I'm saying that whether they understood or not. Thank you.
We are people of all levels here, scientific, also science. Everyone is here in this call. So I'm sure everyone enjoyed it. Any questions on Ekadashi, please feel free. So we, Rajajana Prabhu can address those questions.
I have 3 questions, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Diksha, please go ahead and tell.
Who is Yama? What is DNA and what is junk DNA?
Okay. Thank you. Your first question is Yama, right?
Yeah.
I think Yama is the personification of death. So when people make sinful activities, when they go to a specific loka, that's called Yama Loka, where Yamaraj is the in charge of that planet. So his duty is actually to punish the people who are actually having sinful activities. Did you understand that? Sorry if I couldn't. Okay. And then your next question is what is that?
What is DNA?
DNA is a very important element in our body. You may read in your next grades what is DNA in the school, but even I don't have much idea. So DNA actually contains very important information about, our body is made of all these cells, right? So each DNA contains very important specific information about each specific cell. So that is what the DNA means. DNA carries very specific important information about the cell. Okay?
I had a question. The question is, you said the DNA replication happens,
Yes.
but is it the junk DNA that you call as junk? Does that not get replicated also? It does. It's just a static number of junk DNAs we have in our body that we don't want to lose it.
No, I don't think so, Prabhu. I think whenever the replication happens, entire DNA, entire thing will replicate. So the old one will be everything, every time it duplicates, right? So the junk DNA also duplicates along with the cell. But what will happen whenever this duplication happens, the small portion of that junk DNA will be lost.
That means you have to eat a lot.
No, Prabhu.
No? Okay.
If you eat, that's what it's saying, right? If you eat a lot, then what will happen? Your rate of duplication will be more. And then what will happen if the rate of duplication is more, the loss will be more. So therefore, you are nearing to death.
Okay, so but then on the Ekadashi day, you said you should not eat a lot of grains and beans excessive. That
Right.
might end up in death. Right? So
Yeah.
the question is, dying on Ekadashi means attaining moksha as per the Shastra. So, I can eat a lot of grain and beans on that day. If I can die and attain moksha, is it not right way of thinking?
I mean, scientists say that you are really not going to die, Prabhu. I think what they found out is that you may develop more diseases, therefore your suffering will increase. We do not know that, right? I mean, we may go that if you are fortunate, if you think that you are fortunate, that we may go, but we don't know on that day whether you're going to develop more diseases, you're suffering more. We don't know, right, Prabhu? So therefore, we have to avoid that. If we are now somebody really in that consciousness that I'm okay with that, even if I leave that body on that day, that is well and good, but there is no guarantee that will happen also on that day. It may happen, it may not happen.
Okay,
But the thing is that on that day, because of the excessive grains and beans, and because of the moon's pull, it may develop further diseases on that time. During that time, it may aggravate that time.
Thank you. Ashok Prabhu is here. You want-
Prabhuji,
yeah.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Rukmini.
so is like the Papa there?
Papa Purusha?
Papa Purusha, is he Yamaraja?
No. Actually, Papa Purusha is a separate personality. He is working under the Yamaraja. He's a separate person there. He was punishing, but Yamaraj actually he's the in charge of entire Yamaloka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the in charge, but he's not. Both are not same. Both are different.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Please.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other question? We also have Ashok Prabhu here. Ashok Prabhu, you want to add some points to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just for Diksha's questions, for simplification purposes, the DNA is just a protein in our body. You know, DNA and RNA is what make up our whole body.
Yeah. Right.
And then it's also present in all living beings and even in plants. So the DNA codes, they actually are what are transferred from generations, like from me to my kids, from my parents to me. So that's how the DNA is really, and it's important for the growth of cells, multiplication. So if we don't have the DNA growth in our body, that's called death, basically. That's the in simple scientific terms. So just for simplification purposes. So
Thank you, Prabhu. I think you are in the medical science. You know more better than that one. So I just thank you very much for clarifying that.
not a problem.
Is that the reason that it is recommended we take more protein?
Yeah, that's why I think people think that you need to eat animal proteins to survive, but that's again defeated by many the scientific research. And like Prabhu's scientific research showed that, and that if you are fasting, you're just giving a break to your body, really, that 36 hours fasting. The other thing is about the animals. Those people who eat animals or meat, they have to fast for 30 days. That's a very, very true thing, because in some religions, that people fast for 30 days. Like in Muslim religion, people fast for 30 days. What's the significance for that? That's significance because they do eat meat, and they have to really do to clean their system. So I think there's so much religious significance, which we have. So
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ashok Prabhu. Thank you, Rajajana Prabhu, for your time and wonderful presentation. I think many really enjoyed this presentation. Thank you so much. It's 12:13.
yeah.
Ashok,
Prabhu, there's
meeting.
one more announcement. Narayan Prabhuji just said that there is a program tomorrow between 7 to 8. It's a drama, and it's on chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. So I have already posted the link, because it's not the same Zoom link as we are on. I've already posted to everyone. So if people are interested, from 7 to 8.
Yeah, Narayan Prabhu is very famous for directing wonderful dramas. So if you can attend tomorrow 7 o'clock, that will be nice. Okay, so we will continue our discussion next Saturday, a conversation between Krishna and Durvasa Muni is joined back next Saturday. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of this week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
what is the assignment for next Saturday?
Next Saturday assignment is what did you learn about Ekadashi? Okay.
Okay.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
Thank you,
I already
Prabhuji.
decided what did I learn.
What is that? Sorry. Say that-
I'm already decided what did I learn.
Okay, you can tell that next Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you.